Someone wants to know what your biggest struggle has been with being transgender in general. Not with transitioning, just living your life.
In general.
And what's your biggest blessings that you've gotten from it?
I would say that my biggest struggle is just society. I have a really hard time not just conforming to what people want me to do so that they'll treat me nicely. And so when I transitioned, it's hard for me to just be like myself and not think that I need to be extra masculine and like do all these different things and act differently because I've transitioned, because I don't feel like that is necessary, but the world tells you that it is. So I struggle with that a lot. And it's hard to feel like you are like man enough and whatever when it kind of like when you compare yourself in the world and the world tells you you're not. So that's the hardest thing, I think. But I also think that my biggest blessing has just been the people who have been supportive and the people who have been like surprisingly there for me and helpful and just like nice and understanding, because there has been a very, very large amount. Like I worked at a coffee shop when I transitioned, like through my transition and from before. So everybody knew me before and then the whole way through, essentially. And even all of our customers and stuff were great about it, and they were understanding. And
Shout out to the patrons of
Under the Umbrella Cafe.
Denver, Colorado. Did they close down?
No, there's different location.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but
shout out to you all.
Yeah. And
nice.
So I had a lot of good family who was really helpful, and that was good. And I had really good friends, and I think it helped a lot that my job situation was also with my friends, and like my boss was really, really supportive. So even when people would treat me badly, she would have a problem. Like they weren't allowed to come to the coffee shop at that point because it's not a thing. So people, it shows you the goods and the bads of people.
The goods.
But there's a lot of good. And I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a blessing. Because people suck regardless of if you're trans or not.
Absolutely.
But it's harder to tell.
It shows you exactly who is your real friend.
And you get to be like, be friends with people for like 3 years and then be like, wow.
Oh, you're the worst.
Realize that you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
So glad that I've
There were definitely some of those.
invested in you for so long.
Yeah, but that's alright. Can't win them all.
Someone asked who's been the most helpful, but I guess we kind of covered that a little bit, huh?
Just everybody. I don't know. I would say the most helpful, no fans. Not giving you, I love you so much. But I just haven't been around very much. So I haven't like really allowed you to be the biggest helpful person.
I don't even know how you'd be helpful.
Well, I just like
besides being
around.
It's gonna be
essentially.
Okay.
I would give my friend Brandon the Medal of Honor for being around.
Shout out to Brandon.
I'm
just gonna shout out everyone.
Yeah,
shout out to Brandon.
Right. We moved to Hawaii and worked on a goat farm, and he was just there with me from.
They lived in a shed together.
Not in a shed. They were separate sheds.
Oh, you lived in neighboring sheds.
Yes, at a farm.
It sounds like it didn't make it sound better.
Separate sheds.
Sheds by each other.
It's better than together. But, well, and I had other friends, too. Like, my friend Danny took me to get hormones, which was a big deal. It's just really like having somebody there to hold my hand, I think.
I did a thing for you.
You did. I know you did. I was just going to get to Brandon because after we were in Hawaii for a while, and he dealt with me through the hardest part of my transition, just because it was the first, 6 months, super awkward, transitional period. Really hard for people around me, and he was very helpful. And he also took me to my top surgery, which was awesome, but only because you couldn't.
And he dealt with all of your emotions.
Yes, he did.
Anyone who deals with someone's psycho hormone emotions, whether it be from transitioning or just I'm about to start my period, you get gold medal.
Whatever. If you're having a hard time in your life, So
my husband gets a gold medal every month because it's like kill switch. I'm a crazy person.
Kill switch. But obviously anybody really who's been there for me.
I was just gonna say the one thing I did. Took you to get your name change paper.
You did. But you got off easy. The process was done. We were just picking it up.
We stood in a line together.
We did, and it was much more fun than me doing it by myself.
That was better.
Which was the worst.
In a weird, awkward line of everyone kind of like eyeing each other, like,
what are you here for?
why are you changing your name?
And a terrible,
Did you commit crimes?
and a crappy judge. Yeah, it's okay though.
You're gonna change your name and move to Mexico? I talk about that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very dramatic about it.
Yeah. Okay. And then this one, how is your love life? Currently, anonymous wants to know. How is your love life?
Well, it wasn't great when I came out because I was with somebody who we were like pretty long time serious relationship, and I thought that it was going to be okay, like really okay.
She was not interested.
Because she had dated women and men before, and she said that she was fine with whatever, so I didn't think it was going to be a problem at all. And then she broke up with me, like, essentially right away. I mean, it wasn't
really that was it because you were trans?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
1,000%.
because she said she just didn't want to have to deal with your surgeries and your, like, emotions and
yeah,
stuff.
and she also just didn't.
But it's not
she
because
didn't have time
she's
for
transphobic. She just didn't want to put in the effort.
And she didn't want to be with somebody.
She didn't want to support you or take care of you.
Yeah, no, not at all. Which I think really just came down to her wanting to be with a girl, which is fair. And that would have been an easier way to go about it.
Which is legit in general, too.
You know, it was a complex
You don't
thing,
have it in you to mentally take on other people's
Absolutely.
load.
Yeah, and I've been there
it's good
before.
to just say so.
Sorry.
Instead of pretend, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, like, no ill will towards her.
Not that I'm defending her honor. I'm
no,
just saying
we're fine.
Everyone has their...
It's for the best. Thank goodness that she didn't, like, try to stick it out and then had, like, and then knowing
it was, like,
she might
mean
have
to
break up with me in that because she couldn't handle it or whatever. Like, that would have been worse. So, it was for the best. But then, I moved away to Hawaii, and I didn't date anybody for, like, a whole year or so. Year and a half-ish.
Yeah.
I think it was just a year.
It was just a year.
And I got my top surgery, which was a big deal because I don't think I could have dated somebody without it because I was so uncomfortable and I could not be any type of unclothed, which isn't realistic for dating. So I think that was a big thing for me, is I had to get over her and get comfortable with me a little bit. And then I promptly
on a spirit journey in Hawaii.
Yes. And then I promptly came back fresh out of my top surgery, like a couple of months maybe. I still had tape and everything on my scars, and I went to Denver Pride with a friend, and I met my now fiance. And it was really easy because we like had a normal meeting, obviously, but she had dated somebody else who was trans, and she understood things, and she knew exactly. Well, yeah, and she knew exactly what I needed. Like, she knew how to not make me feel bad about myself, or like not make me feel dysphoric and stuff. And she knew like that I had a lot of boundaries, and she was pretty much like the perfect person that I was given.
The perfect person.
Shout
out to Emily.
God was like, here you go. Like, you don't have to go through this. So I luckily never had to have negative dating experiences because most people do. And I was very worried about it. But I didn't have to. Other than the one, I guess. But it wasn't super bad. So
I feel like that's how it is with anybody. You probably run into it more, obviously.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine.
But I think, like, the main, like, challenges and stuff with dating in general is you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And that's hard to take.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
and that's fine.
To think that people, like, don't accept you or just won't like you. Mm-hmm. But then the good thing is, you are some people's cup of tea.
Sure. It's a hard place to be, too, because you think about it like, at least I thought about it like, I don't want to date somebody who considers themselves to be strictly a lesbian, because that would make me feel bad about myself. Like, they don't take me seriously. They don't see me as a man, which I would need them to be if we were in a relationship.
That would just be weird.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
That would
and
be
some
me.
people
That would like me being in a serious relationship with a girl and then always being like, I'm strictly straight. And the girl would be like,
it wouldn't be right.
She would be like, excuse you?
But some people are that way. They just like act like it's, I don't know, that you're just a girl. And they just like humor you.
Like,
and it's weird
denial.
because it's like in the LGBT community thing. And it's like, well, just don't date. Like, that's fine.
We'll just not talk about
Yeah.
it and pretend it's fake.
Yep. And then there's people, obviously, you want to date somebody who, not is straight per se, of course, because that's difficult, but somebody that wants to also be with men because you want to be seen that way and be able to feel confident about yourself.
Somebody who can handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Can you handle the truth?
Can you handle the truth? So when I met my fiance, I wasn't wearing a shirt and she could see my top surgery scars and all that because we were at Pride. So it was good for me because I knew, she knew, all from the beginning. And we didn't even have to talk from the beginning. Like, there was no, oh, I like you. And then I tell her, and she's like, oh, never mind. Because that would be heartbreaking. And that happens to people all the time. And it's super not cool. I get it. And it's fine. Whatever. Everybody has their own choices and preferences and stuff. You don't have to be with someone who's trans, but, you know, just try to be nice. You can help it.
Just reject them like you'd reject anybody.
Anybody else. Yeah.
Not like, ew, no.
Yeah.
They would just be like, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I guess some girls even just look at regular guys and are like, ew, no.
Yeah.
But those people are also still rude. You're still rude.
Yeah, just don't act that way.
You only get to do, ew, no, unless if they, like, come up to you and say something just, like,
Learn
vulgar.
how to act right.
If someone's like, I want your clothes off, then you can be like, ew, God. Leave my presence.
Yep.
Leave my presence.
Right.
That's all I have, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I tried to keep it short because, look at us, 45 minutes. Do you have any good ones? Like real good ones? Like the best of the leftover ones? How's that on your face?
How about this? Okay, this will just be the last one then.
I have just baby clothespins all over my bedroom because the kids got into them.
That's what I've been playing with. How about just, has it made you uncomfortable at all? Or like, how do you feel about me being on like testosterone and me changing like looks and maybe attitude, if that's a thing? Or like me having top surgery and like wanting to walk around the house with my shirt off?
Nope. Nothing's been weird. This sounds kind of weird. But Dylan and I were actually talking the other day. Because somebody, I can't remember what it was, somebody said Cassie. And like my brain, it wasn't anyone in our family. It was someone from high school who I'm not even sure if they know about you. And they were just like, oh, how's Cassie? And I, like, it took me. My brain was like, who?
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel.
Who?
Gosh.
And then I was like, oh, yeah. And then I responded, and I was like, oh, he's fine, whatever. That's not the point. But the point is, afterward, Dylan and I were talking about it, and I was like, someone said Cassie to me today, and it was so weird because I didn't feel like that was a person who I knew, which is weird. So it's been like, I don't know. I feel like maybe just because of, I don't know if it's just my personality or if it's like things that we went through when we were younger, but I feel like I'm a very adaptable person. Like you just say, this is what's changing in your life, and I say, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, because as long as, I don't think that it's like that you're adaptable. Well, I mean, you are, but like it's more just because you genuinely don't judge people unless they're being bad people. So if I was doing anything
like
weird,
assholes.
even if I was like, I'm going to tattoo my whole face and skull, she would probably be like, that's a bad choice.
I'd be like,
But
you
you'd
might
be like,
regret that later.
Go ahead, I guess.
But if you're
And
like,
you wouldn't-
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you
I'd be
wouldn't
like,
hate me or anything.
No.
And because you
I
don't
would be like,
judge...
we can't talk to Cass anymore because he has a face tattoo.
Because you just don't judge people over stupid stuff. Like, you only, like,
Yeah.
would be judgmental if I was like, I actually just do math when I'm at your house in front of your children.
Yeah, if you just did meth in my house. But that's an asshole.
Then we would have a problem. Otherwise, as long as I'm not
He
doing
doesn't do
anything
meth.
to hurt anybody.
You don't do meth.
No.
I'm going to clarify. Just
Definitely
you
not.
never know. Internet people.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, look at this
we
chunky
make
little
jokes
face.
about meth, but nobody's doing meth. Okay. No, but I was just saying, like, I feel like Cass is dead. Or Cassie is dead to me.
Well, yeah.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting that you feel that way because I feel that way.
Just can't,
like, it just doesn't feel like it ever happened. Even though
Yeah.
it did. Like, it absolutely did. And
like,
I
in
look
my
back
childhood memories, I just, like, picture you. I
Yeah.
don't picture this other person
because I acted the
who
same.
was a girl.
Even when I was in high school and I was trying to, like, dress really girly and be trendy and date boys and all that, I still acted the same. Which is
Yeah.
probably why I wasn't very successful at most of those
But
things.
just, like, the name, like, my reaction to, like, the name Cassie, it was just so weird.
It's weird.
Because it was, like, it's, like, the equivalent of, like, someone calling me Alyssa, which I get a lot. All the time. I'll be like, my name's Allison. And they're like, oh, Alyssa. And I'm like, but it's like the
Nah.
equivalent of that. Even
Yeah.
though that was your name. So it's not, but it just feels like someone's calling you the wrong friggin' name. Who? But, so no. I feel like everything's been like just easy. My brain just said,
All right.
reject old things, embrace new things.
And it makes more sense.
No big deal.
I feel like it's comfortable
I think
for
there
everybody
was-
because it makes more sense.
There was a while there where I was just like, Cass is an asshole. If we're being honest.
Wow.
But it was when
the
you
truth
were,
comes
But
out.
it was when you were hormonal and crazy. Not crazy, but like PMSy.
Mhm.
Almost. The equivalent.
When
the
was
only
this?
thing
Just
that I
now?
know.
Just recently?
No. Like way back.
Oh. Yeah.
Way back.
At the beginning. Yeah.
And
Well.
like sometimes I would call you and talk to you and you'd be like, hi, my best friend. And then sometimes I would call and talk to you and you would be like, you didn't say anything mean, but you just sounded like put out by me and my like not, like if I asked questions because I didn't know anything about like the transgender community or anything like that. So I'd ask you questions about like what you were doing, how you were feeling, like how does this work? And sometimes you were like cool and sometimes you seemed put the hell out with me. Like, put out. And I would, like, get off the phone with you because you were in Hawaii. And I'd be like, I don't even feel like he likes me. Like, I don't feel like my brother
I'm
likes me
sorry.
anymore.
I'm sorry. I just had.
But I could tell. It was like, you give phone call and you don't know who you're going to get.
Well, that's because my hormones were too low.
Yeah.
And so it was like girl puberty at the end of the week and boy puberty at the beginning of the week, so I could just lose my mind constantly.
So it was like that was the only thing that was like
well,
difficult where I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
But it wasn't even fully that. It was just like the hardest time, I think. And so if I was just upset in general, or like down on myself in general, or
Like,
whatever,
this is your
I would just be more defensive. It wasn't your fault at all. It was just like I didn't want to have to deal with it, and I just wasn't happy about whatever. And I'm sorry that I
Well,
was
that
a
was
jerk
it.
to you, though.
But I'm that way with anybody. That has nothing to do with you being friends. It was
I was
just like
yeah.
a speed bump in the transitioning. But
Oh yeah, but
if I'm around anybody and they're like, I'm particularly hormonal and I'm acting like kind of rude, I'm gonna be like,
yeah, well, yeah, sure.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
It was difficult, for sure, but I'm not crazy all the time.
No.
Now that the hormones are properly
I'm
titrated.
probably crazier than you because my hormones are always a mess.
That's because yours aren't under your own control. So
You never know what you're gonna get when you call me. Just kidding.
it is understandable, though.
I just get weepy.
I don't have a lot of weepiness.
You call
anymore.
me and I'm like 90% of the time like, hey, 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 and then like 10% of the time I'm like, I'm sad. Everything hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
And you're like, I regret. Gosh, you don't.
Sometimes people have hard times. It's okay.
I'm that way because I'm not a particularly warm person. Is it that I'm not warm? I don't know how to describe myself.
You're just.
I'm like one of those people who are like, I'm sorry you're sad.
You don't know how to comfort, per se. You don't know how to, like, be forwardly
No.
affectionate,
No.
per se.
So when people are like,
But-
"Whoa," I'm always like, oh.
But that's just how you've always.
I gotta go.
Yeah. That's just how
I
you've
hope you're not
always
too
been,
sad.
though, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of that way. Like, it's just sometimes.
So I'm sure probably that was a little issue on both of our parts because I could have just been like, oh, I see that you're feeling upset. and maybe you're taking it out on me, and let's talk through it and stuff. But instead I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's easier, though. It's also, I think, because of how we handle our problems.
When things get too feelingsy, I'm like, ugh.
And it's usually
Gotta go
easier
stuff.
to, like, deal with stuff. Like, sometimes it's easier to deal with stuff alone and not talk to people about it, because then it's, you just don't want to. And stuff, so.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's good. I probably needed the space. I don't really remember. It was an emotional time.
I'm not a total
I was
jerk.
upset a lot.
I'm not a total jerk.
And I
though.
was
If
kind of a
somebody
jerk.
comes to me and they're like, I just need someone to talk to, I'm like the best listener ever.
Yeah.
Because I know what you want.
Yeah.
If it's like, I need help finding a solution, I need you to just like let me vent and like hear what I have to say, because I just need to put it out there into the universe. I can do those things for you. But when you're coming at me with feelings that I don't understand, like what
you want me
needs
to
to
do?
be done with
Right,
them,
I'm just
like,
upset.
"Ugh."
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want answers? Do
See,
you
I don't
want-"
think I knew either, though.
And I don't want to be wrong, because because Dylan and I are that way. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm sad. And then he'll be like, well, here's the solutions. And I'm like, I don't want solutions.
Yeah. That's...
I want you to listen
and just
and
say,
feel bad for me.
sorry.
Yeah. Don't tell me what to fix it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
eh,
Pretty good, though.
pretty good. All is well on the home front. And here we are at the end. And I never know how to end.
If y'all have better... Not better. If y'all have more questions,
Yeah, more questions.
Stuff.
Because I didn't ask very many people.
I might eventually put up my own YouTube stuff. I have a beginning YouTube video that I made, and it is embarrassing.
That's just...
With my little voice, man.
They're probably not
Ooh.
embarrassing. That's how you feel
It was embarrassing.
just every time.
I was like sitting in my house, like,
Like, it's not bad for me anymore, but seriously, like, most of the time when I would make videos, I would be confident and post them, and then as soon as they were, like, public, I'd be like, oh, crap!
that's what I did. I instantly made it private. I was like,
Yeah, I'm like,
Never
everyone's
mind.
gonna hate me, and I'm so
Never
stupid,
mind.
and I'm so gross, and oh my gosh. Yeah. But you just gotta grit your teeth and pretend you didn't do it and go on with your life. And then check YouTube like a week later and be like, wow, people watched this and liked it. That's weird.
or didn't like it.
Or they thumbs
Or
down
they had a
it.
real problem.
Thumbs down a
If y'all-
million times.
If y'all have a real problem with this video, get out. Just get out.
Get out.
We don't want
You're
you.
not welcome
We
here.
don't want you here.
I'm pretty sure this will probably get some thumbs down.
Oh, for sure. It's inherent. It's just how my life.
I only have 2 thumbs downs right
Oh.
now.
Now you're gonna
Here
have
they
more.
come.
You're welcome.
You know what? The only way to show hate is being indifferent.
Towards people's hate.
No, just being indifferent. Being indifferent is the worst thing you can be to somebody.
That's what I mean.
If you thumbs down me, you're still giving me your attention. Thumbs up me, you're giving me your attention. So you should just ignore it. Ignore it. That's the best way to just be like, I hate everything. It's to ignore.
Yep. That's the appropriate way to
That's
deal
how I
with
feel about
disliking
internet.
things.
That's how I feel about internet trolls in general when they're like crazy, and
Oh my gosh.
I just think, why are you here though?
Yeah, what is it that is in your life
What
that
is your
makes you be
purpose?
mean to other people?
What is your purpose? Because trust me, I see some weird stuff on the internet. I have insomnia, and I end up on the dark side of YouTube a lot.
The dark way.
The dark web, not the real dark web, just the dark side of YouTube. But I don't
Yeah.
troll people. I don't thumbs down and be like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
And that there's
Even though I think it. But you know, you just click away.
Yep.
Click away.
Yep.
So
That's
if you see this and you're not into it, my advice to you is to click away. But it's at the end, so you've probably watched
go
it.
watch something to take my gay agenda away from you. Go save yourself from this.
Oh.
Ah.
Anyway, 'tis the end. We've got to go drive now.
'Tis the end.
We're going on a trip.
Perhaps.
Happy Easter. Ching. You're supposed to do the other arm, but you don't have a thumb. Oh, you do?